Om Shanti. In the Murli, today Baba is talking about unlimited disinterest, Behad ka Vairagya. And I will tell you one incident which happened yesterday, and I think I want to, if you think about it, you will understand the Murli better. So there is this sister, and she said that I was raised in a family where money is not wasted and money is always used very economically. But my husband is not like that. It's not that he wastes it on, like he doesn't drink or smoke, or it's nothing of that sort. But then he always spends extra on things that we could economize on. So I said, like what? So she said, like you could be comfortable in a sofa of 50,000 also, but then he would buy a sofa for 5 lakhs. So, so I don't get that. And, or if we have to eat, then we could eat out of a simple restaurant and spend 2,000 on it, but he would spend 15,000 on a dinner, which doesn't make sense to me. So I am very disturbed by this thing, and I always feel that this is wastage and we shouldn't be doing it. And then I get very irritated, and we have fights, and then our relationship is suffering. And so she said it is very bizarre, because mostly you will hear people complaining that their partner doesn't spend, but I am complaining because my partner spends too much. And then this is the problem in our relationship. So so what do you say in this situation? Because you see, um, if you take into account the morality or the ethics with which we are raised, then you would end up saying this woman is right, and then that husband needs to change. Yes, the woman is right, and the husband needs to change. But the husband has not come to Baba. The woman has come to Baba. And then Baba tells us that, so this is the conflict, why I'm presenting you with this situation is because Baba doesn't talk about values, Baba talks about virtues. Okay, and most of the times values and virtues will coincide, they will be one and the same thing. For example, if you listen to the Murli, then Baba will say, you are peaceful is a virtue, and then you economize is a value. Yes. So then if you want to be peaceful always, then always take care of being economical also, which I mostly explain in the class, that if you waste your money, it will take away your peace. Correct? So that's one thing. But think about a situation where you are not the person who is at charge, and you are not calling the shots, and you are not the one who is taking the decision. There is another person involved. Then what is Baba Shrimat in that case? Baba Shrimat is, this is what it is, and you keep your peace. Yes, so I always like this quotation very much, which is, God, please grant me the serenity to accept that which I cannot change, the courage to change that which I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So you understand what needs to change, but you should be very careful about who it is to be applied to. So, when it is about you, you find the courage to change that. And yes, Srimad says economy is a word value you should always take care of. So, if this is about your life and your conduct, you change it. Correct? That's where you find the courage to change it. But if it is about someone else, and then you understand that you have tried and that's not in your control. Okay, so maybe that person, even if it is about your spouse, and you know that you have asked your spouse, you have had discussions, but then you are not on the same page about it. Then what do? You choose your peace. Yes, you choose your peace and you focus on building the relationship and you focus on creating your aura until you come to a place where you are able to influence their choices. Yes, so you don't have to get bitter and irritated, and then uh, out of that, you spoil your state of mind, and then that's not how it goes. So, when there is a conflict between values and virtues, you choose virtues. So, this is a conflicting situation where your value and virtues are not the same. So, if you try to emphasize too much on the value, then you are losing your peace, you're getting bitter, right? So you don't have to get bitter, don't lose your peace, just accept that this is what it is, and this is humility. This is humility, knowing your limitations is also humility. Knowing your limitations is an act of humility, and then when you have that humility, then you will slowly move to greatness by knowing how much is possible in every situation. You accept that, keep your peace, and start becoming better and more peaceful. You have your spiritual resonance and try to focus on that. And when you slowly gradually focus on that, you will be in a situation one day where you will be able to influence their choices. But if you spoil your resonance and you spoil the relationship, then that's not happening anytime in the future. Yes, so this is very important, and with children also, Baba does the same thing, because every child is in a different place. When we come, we are not, we have so much going on in our sanskars and our buddhi. We have so many belief systems. We have so many vices, and then what Baba does is he tells us what we need to do, but then he also waits patiently until we understand that and do it. He doesn't force us, or he doesn't get irritated if we don't do it. Yes, then he would be self sabotaging his own course of action. So, so this is something we need to realize and understand. And so, what is unlimited disinterest? So, when you are operating with people, places, and things, and you don't want to let go of them, you want to identify what is that ego, what is that belief system, what is that greed or that vice or whatever it is, which is giving you trouble in that situation, and you let go of that. Yes, so you don't have to let go of people and situations. You can be in that situation, you can be with that person and identify what is it inside you that's making you suffer. And because suffering is a product of bad karma. So, if you are suffering, there is something that you're doing wrong. And what is it? You are operating from some belief system, you are operating under the sway of some vice. You have ego that you are all powerful and that you can change everything instantly. Yes, you are not willing to find the balance between effort and patience. All that is ego. So, Baba says you have to understand what is it that is troubling you in that situation and what is it that is wanting you to run away from that situation and stopping you from operating peacefully and lovingly in a situation. So, Baba says there is no reason that somebody should be peaceless or not loving in any situation whatsoever. No situation in our life or no person demands or no situation or no person can actually force us to come from a non-loving and a not peaceful place. But what is it inside of you that's getting so worked up that you're not able to handle this situation and you're getting upset and peaceless? So drop that. Drop that vice, drop that morality, because you should be very focused about what actually matters. And what do vices and morality do to us? They make us focus on the other things and they tell us that being peaceless or being hateful is your duty at this point of time. So, and they say that probably you're punishing that person or that situation by doing that, but you're only punishing yourself and thinking you're right in doing so. Yes, so it's not even about, I told that lady that it's not even about conserving the peace in the family, it's about you. Because maybe, even if you did everything right, there won't be peace in the family. Sometimes the karmic account is just like that. But what matters is you ask yourself, are you fine within? Or is there something gnawing inside your heart? Yes, so that thing you have to drop, which is gnawing in your heart and which is making you feel there is something that I'm not doing right. Okay, so whenever your conscience stops biting, that time you are at peace. And then of course, there is another side to it that when you do everything right, then things cannot get wrong for very long. That's also there. So that's also another check. So we have to understand there's unlimited disinterest. So, people in the world today are also saying that I don't feel interested in anything which is an aspect of depression. So that doesn't, so we are not talking about getting depressed and feeling not having interest in anything. So we are very interested in being with people. We are very interested in doing our work. We are very interested in carrying out our duties. But what we are not interested in is getting peaceless and angry while doing that. And then we don't have any interest in stuff that takes away our peace and state of love. Okay, so you just drop all of those belief systems and those things. And so, people say that I will not give up this idea that I am right and you are wrong, and I will give up on you. So Baba says, why don't you give up on that idea? That's better. And then it doesn't matter whether you're with them, without them. So again, there is another side to it. Don't give up that idea because they matter more than the idea. No. Give up that idea because you matter more than that idea. Because again, if you give up on your belief because of them, tomorrow maybe you end up sacrificing something that you don't like. And again, it gnaws on your heart. So always understand that the center of your life is you, your conscience. You want to be right with yourself. And then when something is not feeling right inside, you change that expectation because you want to feel right about it. Okay, so that's how it works. It is not as easily practiced as it is said, but but this is a starting point where I want you to think about what actually is the trouble. Yes, what is actually the trouble? So Maya comes through a lot of sanskars, feelings, vices, and belief systems. Now, I will read out the Murli and then we will have so much to think about today. Baba, in the essence, today says, sweet children, only when you have unlimited disinterest in this old world. Unlimited means not disinterested in the physical, but disinterested in the non physical that is making you miserable. Your vices and your ideas, that's what's making you miserable. So, Baba says, if you have unlimited interest in this old world, will you be able to return home with the Father? So, are you interested in returning home with the Father? Yes, Pakka. Or, or tomorrow Baba comes to take, and you say, and then Baba says, you were working to go back home, and what are you what are you saying now? You want to live here. So you have to understand that this world is not sustainable anymore. Yes, and there is no point in, of course, going back, coming, and this whole process is tedious, but then the continuing this way is even more tedious. And there is I will give you one example. So once I went to one hospital in Delhi, and it was years back, and I had actually not been to a hospital before that. So that was my first visit to a very big hospital. And then when I went there, I saw people in really bad conditions, like people who couldn't walk, who had to drag themselves, people who couldn't stand. And that was a government hospital. So people who couldn't stand had to stand in a queue, or just drag them and fit into the queue until they could meet the doctor. And they were in really bad shape. And then uh, there was one question that kept coming to my mind. Why do we wait so long? Why do we wait so long to get ourselves treated? And do you know that most people don't get themselves treated until very long? Even in case of physical ailments, uh, you don't get yourself treated as soon as you feel there is something to treat in the body, and you just keep waiting. And there is another one thing which sometimes I feel that even there is something in the body and you have to change something about it, maybe your lifestyle, or you have to get yourself to meet a doctor, you have to find time for it, find the money for it. Okay, but if you have to find it, you will have to find it, if not today, tomorrow. But then we keep postponing it. We keep postponing it. We keep postponing the time we have to find for it. We keep postponing the money we have to find for it. We keep postponing the courage we have to find for it. Yes, if there is an operation required, why don't we go and get that operation? Why do we wait until, it gets really bad? So that's also And of course, there are limitations to it. You don't trust the doctor, you don't trust the management, you don't trust the hospital you are waiting for. So there are reasons for it. That's also there. But then we do not understand the importance of making the right effort at the right time. Somewhere that's not there. And this is why we have a lot of regret later. So our life is full of a lot of regrets because this soul is not functioning accurately. And there is the soul's capacity to discern and decide. So that discernment of what to do, when to do, how to do, and that quick decision where you find the courage to do that is very flawed these days. And then you see, Baba also is giving us something which will make us the ruler for a 21 births. But then this also needs quick decision making and discernment. So if we are not able to discern what is it that I have to do for my spiritual development now, not today, not tomorrow, now, and that if we don't do it right now and we don't adopt whatever Baba is saying, then that 21 births of our future is getting compromised. Yes, so we need to understand this thing. I'm not saying that somebody didn't do it, whether it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is about our limited capacity to discern and decide these days. Yes, so either we become careless or lazy and we postpone, or we become very anxious and worried and we haste. Sometimes that also happens. So, until and unless you are a balanced soul, your decisions and your discernment won't go right. So, this is why, this Behad ka Vairagya is very important, because Baba says when you have to go, you have to go. And you will be able to be ready at the right time if you have worked on yourself in such a manner that you are operating free from vices and emotions are not driving you. What's driving you is very sensible choices about how you want to be, what you want to be, and what you want to do in a situation. Okay, so identify whenever you are not feeling right inside, identify what is it that's holding you back. It's not the person or the behavior. Yes, it's not the situation. It's something that's inside of you, some vice, some belief system. Drop that. Okay, and continue peacefully with that situation and that behavior. Okay, so the question today is, although God is almighty, why are there obstacles in this sacrificial fire of knowledge He created? So, God has created this sacrificial fire of knowledge, and there are obstacles in this, and God is the Almighty. So, how can there be obstacles in the sacrificial fire that the Almighty has created? Yes, and if I put this question very simply for you, somebody comes to Baba, belongs to Baba, then how can they leave Baba? Yes, so how can somebody, take you away from the Almighty when you belong to the Almighty? But what is the cause? What is the reason that even Baba has to make so much of effort? So let's understand what Baba is saying today. Baba says, and you will be shocked to hear this, but Baba says it because Ravan is even stronger than God. Yes, and do you think that Ravan is stronger than Baba? No. But Baba is saying Ravan is stronger than Baba. So Baba can't be wrong, right? Now let's understand why Baba is saying that Ravan is stronger than Baba. Because Baba's children are with Ravan. Yes, and if a person's children are with the enemy, then the enemy is stronger. Yes, so Baba's children are with Ravan, and that's why Ravan is very strong right now. And children don't take a second to doubt Baba's Murli. If it clashes with something that they know and they believe, they don't take a second to doubt Baba and Baba's Murli. That's how strong Ravan is. And this is why in the Saturday evening class, I was asking you whether you love Baba. Because, sometimes we don't love Baba enough. And then what happens is some unfavorable situation comes up. Some person is able to, hurt us or harm us. Or there is something, some vice that Baba is asking us to give up, or there's something about our conventional belief systems that Baba is trying to change, and then we stop having faith in Baba. And then children will say, no, I don't like this in the Murli and that in the Murli, and then I don't want to fully surrender, or I don't want to give up on this or that. And then they have doubts about Baba. So I can tell you many incidents where children have left Baba because they incurred a huge financial loss, and they suppose that if Baba is with them, then this loss wouldn't be happening. Yes, so Baba tells us so much about the drama, and then Baba says, I'm not here to correct the drama. I'm here to give you what you need, and you don't need those things. But then you give up on me because those things are not going your way. So Baba says Ravan is very strong because the children are under the sway of Ravan. And do you realize how much under the sway of Ravan you are? Yes, it's very difficult to realize. And what does Ravan do? Ravan's very simple task Ravan has. He just has to take you away from Baba and your virtues. Yes, and how many times in a day is Ravan successful in taking you away from peace, happiness, pure spiritual love, and a state of power? Tell me, count and tell me. How many times in a day is Ravan able to make you worry, fear, get stressed, angry? Yes. So that is how powerful Ravan is. And how many times do you even forget to remember Baba and come back to that consciousness? So when you remember Baba, you're always peaceful, always happy. But then it takes so much of time to remember Baba, remember to remember Baba. And then, come back to that consciousness. It takes a hell lot of time all the time. Yes, so this is something that we need to understand. And Ravan is very powerful now because Baba's children are under the sway of Ravan. And let's recall the story of Ravan given in the Ramayana. And what is the story of Ravan? So God gave Sita, Ram gave Sita a borderline, yes, a Lakshman Rekha. God gave, so Ram left Lakshman with Sita, yes, and then Lakshman, when he left Sita, he drew that line, and she was asked not to cross it. And then what did Ravan do? Ravan came disguised as a Brahmin. So Ravan didn't come as Ravan. Ravan came in the guise of a Brahmin, and then he called out to Sita. And what did he say? He said, if you do not come out and give the bhiksha to the bhikshuk or to the Brahman, then you are committing a sin. So what did Ravan precisely do? He called out to the he called out to the morality inside Sita. Yes, and then Sita crossed the line. So Baba gives us Lakshman, which is the line that the soul always has to observe and not cross, which is what we are talking about today. Baba says, let go of anything that takes away your peace and your purity and your state of spiritual love. But then what does Ravan do? Ravan calls out to our morality. Will you not be even sad about death? So are you that inhuman that even somebody's death cannot make you unhappy? So, or it's so moral to feel sad about death. And if you don't you have a heart, you won't even feel sad at someone's death. And then we start shedding tears. So that's how Ravan calls out to our morality. And then, will you not worry about your own children? So worry is a great virtue when it comes to children, and you cannot give up on that. Your child is late, and how can you listen to Baba's Murli and not worry about the child? You should be jumping up and down and walking from this end to that end and worrying. That's what parents are supposed to do. Then how can you not do that? So that's morality. So there are so many aspects of morality, and then there is another aspect. So Baba says that. So Baba says that you have to honor the words in the scripture in letter and spirit. Yes, so we have been taught so many scriptures. And Baba says scriptures are not to be worshipped and applauded. They have to be practiced in letter and spirit. And for that, we have to understand what they mean. But if we get into the debate about scriptures and lose our peace, then that's not working. So that's also morality. So I remember I once went to Haridwar, and there were shops that were selling puja samagri and other things. And then in one of the shops, when I entered, they asked me, I was in this dress, so they asked me, what do you do and who are you? So I told them I'm a Brahma Kumari, and we teach about God and soul and other things. So they said, we are very happy that you're protecting religion. So I said, no, we don't protect religion. Religion is supposed to protect us. So what is religion? Religion is, dharam means dharana. Dharam means dharana. Dharana is what you imbibe. Yes, so what we imbibe is going to protect me. So Baba is teaching us what to imbibe. And we don't go about protecting religion because that's not our job. Yes, so we protect religion by protecting our dharana inside. So if I'm pure, I'm peaceful, I'm loveful, that's what religion is. And if I go about thinking too much, so one one thing that Ravan does is makes you think too much. Yes, so recently I've understood this one thing about Ravan and it has helped me a lot. And what does Ravan do? He makes you overthink. So so nowadays what I have done is whenever I'm overthinking about something, I just stop. I just stop. I don't care whether I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm whatever. I just stop that because that's taking me away from who I am. And do you know that if you are thinking peacefully, lovingly, and in a happy and knowledgeful way, you cannot overthink. You cannot overthink. That's one indicator. If I ask you to only be who you are, peaceful, knowledgeful, loveful, and then talk the whole day, how much can you talk? Probably you will stay silent all day. Yes, so so because they cannot be overthinking and over talking about when you are in connection with yourself. So whenever you are overthinking, it is definitely an act of Ravan. Whether you are overthinking about right or wrong, whether you're overthinking about someone's body or your body, or you're overthinking about some person, or you're overthinking about something, all that is based on vices. Yes, so right, wrong is ego, body is lust, and relationships are because of attachment, you overthink, and then you're thinking about something, it's because of greed. And let me tell you about my recent other example I gave you, the previous one. I was overthinking about money when I was trying to save it. Yes, so that's because of greed. It may not be very obvious. Sometimes you think that is economy, but economy you incorporate into your actions. But whenever you are overthinking about money, it's an aspect of greed. Yes, so any kind of overthinking, you identify your overthinking, just change it. So that's Ravan. So I've given you a very, very easy way to understand Ravan. And then you stop and you detect what is it that's inside you. So Baba says right now Ravan is very powerful, stronger than God because his children are with Ravan. Therefore, when his kingdom is being snatched away, he would definitely create obstacles, and Ravan will give you a tough time. Yes, you try to do anything Baba's way, Ravan is going to mess you up in bad way. So he doesn't want his kingdom to be snatched away. According to the drama, there have been obstacles in this sacrificial fire from the beginning, and they will definitely continue. So Baba says there will be obstacles not only from your vices inside of you, but from vicious people, institutions, situations outside of you also. Yes, so there are people, there are institutions, there are organizations, there is everything working under the sway of Ravan, and they will also try to stop you. And this is what happened in the early days. So people who had a problem with purity tried to cause a lot of vandalism and stop the yajna, because Ravan's community will also not allow you to continue your task in peace. Now, Baba says we are being transferred from the impure world to the pure world. Therefore, impure people will definitely create obstacles. Yes, so do you think you will become pure very easy? No, you cannot become pure very easily. So, impure people will create a lot of obstacles, and they will question, so if you don't get married, they will question whether whether you didn't find anyone to get married, or whether nobody liked you so you couldn't get married, or they will ask you whether you are interested in another gender so you're not marrying somebody from your own gender, and then they will ask you whether you are not capable of handling a marriage so you're not getting married. But it will never occur to them that you are not getting married because you want to stay pure. And they will say that is rubbish, and you are not getting married because of some secret vicious reason which you are not divulging. So so Baba says this purity is a very difficult thing to embrace in an impure world. And then if you have any bit of ego, you will be affected by all of that. Yes, so Ravan will really test you before you can belong to Baba. So it's not easy. And, sometimes, and if you're working and earning and then not getting married, it's a very big trouble. So, yes, and then if you have a family and then you're remaining celibate, that's also a lot of trouble, because then they will question the quality of relationship you have with your spouse and whether you are physically sound or not sound and other stuff. But then Baba says, just don't go into that. So these are obstacles that Ravan will create, and this 2500 years of ego-based sanskars will drive you mad. If you don't get lustful, you will get angry. So, even if they are not able to motivate you for lust, they will motivate you for anger. So don't get angry also, because that's not the point. So this is about Ravan creating a lot of obstacles in Baba's yajna. All right, Om Shanti.